Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and as always, thank you so much for coming back. Today I'm going to be talking about Leo, and it's perfect timing because it's 80 degrees in New York City right now, which hasn't happened in about 6 months, so it's timely because Leo is ruled by the sun. So Leos are the lights of the world, basically. So these are people who are easily noticed, easily recognized, and somehow, whether they want it or not, seem to draw a lot of attention. So some of the cliches are that these are the models and actors of the world, and what is true about that is that if you want to pursue a very public-facing career, you should have some Leo in a big part of your chart. So that could be your rising sign, your moon sign, or your sun sign being Leo. But regardless of how outgoing or bold they are, they tend to have a very kind of sunny outlook and disposition. So Cancer, who I just talked about, they're ruled by the moon. Leos are the sun. And so they are also symbolized by the lion. So what this means for them is that on top of being optimistic and excitable people, they also have a very regal nature to them. So they, the theory is that lions rule their kingdom, and so Leos kind of view themselves as taking care of the rest of the world, basically. So they're people who are very inclusive. They tend to be leaders in some capacity for this reason, where they just want to take care of the greater whole, whether that be at work or in their family or in a very public-facing capacity. And so they're always going to be fair, and they're always going to be kind, and the perfect example of this is Barack Obama, and he's kind of a classic Leo in that sense. So not to get political here, but Leos are going to be some of the friendliest, some of the warmest, and then some of the most dramatic creatures out there. So one of the pretty well-known parts of a Leo is that they are prone to drama, interested in drama, and their life can kind of have a dramatic flair to it. It is super innocent and very sincere, and they almost can't help it in a way, but there are people who, you know, show dramatic displays of affection, or people who have meltdowns in public because they just feel things so sincerely and they have no problem expressing themselves in some capacity. And let me just say, obviously depends on your natal chart for how this exactly shows up for you. So maybe you are a shy Leo because your rising sign is something like Cancer. So it can also show up in the home and just with people that you feel super, super comfortable with. Leo is one of the most creative signs. So these people are creative in a specific way. They are not going to necessarily be graphic designers who design for a bunch of different clients. They're going to be, they're the artists that gear towards self-expression. So that would mean literally being an artist yourself, so being a musician where you write your own music and you perform your own music. Or it can be someone who draws self-portraits, or someone who writes a memoir one day. So their creativity and expression is highly based on the self, and that's not out of narcissism. That's purely out of a desire to connect their story to someone else and to try and speak a sort of universal experience to other people. So like I've talked about in past videos, every sign has positive aspects and then areas for improvement. Leos, because they're the sun, which in astrology terms is the ego, Leos can have a tendency to harbor a lot of shame and a lot of fear of their ego being tarnished. So they can avoid criticism, or they can shy away from critiques because there's a part of them, the ego part of them, that can't quite handle that level of negativity about themselves. So their area for improvement is learning how to accept that they are imperfect and that not everyone is going to love every single part of them. And so for them, that will come from self-love. It will come from affirming themselves before waiting for other people to affirm them. them because they're quite external people in general, and so they can seek a lot of outside acceptance and a lot of outside praise, and that can be a huge basis for their self-esteem, but obviously that's not sustainable. So they have to learn, how can I be okay with myself if the rest of the world isn't 100% okay with me all the time? They make wonderful friends. They're the kid on the playground that's concerned about the shy kid being included. So again, this goes back to being the lion of their kingdom. So if you're friends with one, or if you're dating a Leo, or if one of your family members are a Leo, you know, you should appreciate how warm and generous they can be with all of their light. You know, I think one of their purposes is how can they use all of their light and shine it on people who don't necessarily have the same gifts. So, you know, drawing attention to the people who need it rather than keeping it just to themselves. I think the most evolved Leos are the ones who share all of their gifts and all of their light. So in further videos, I'm going to be talking about what it means to be a Leo rising and what it means to have your moon in Leo, because as always, those are very different things. But this video is if you are truly a Leo and your sun sign is in Leo. So subscribe if you're interested, and you can feel free to DM me or send me an email if you have any questions at all. And Leos, this is my love letter to you, and I hope this was somewhat informative for the rest of you guys. So thank you. Bye.